Hey everyone back home. I'm just checking in. Sorry it's been so long since there's been an update. Things have been extremely busy here, the good kind of busy. God is doing amazing things, and our schedule is really, really full here. So I just want to give you guys a brief update of what's been going on. It's going to be as condensed as I can get it. We have started the holiday season, so we've been decorating for Christmas here. So the base is looking a little more Christmassy. We have ended our lecture phase and we are now beginning our outreach phase. And the last section that we did for lecture was Lordship. And during Lordship Week, our speaker, Mark Parker, really stepped us through this process of entering kind of the Holy of Holies. And through that whole process, we had hours. Between 2 or 3 days, we had 19 hours of ministry time. And the Lord was really doing deep work in people's hearts. During that time, I'm feeling a greater call to YWAM as a whole. So I'm going to be extending a commitment to YWAM, which I'll be sharing more about probably at a later time. But right now I need to finish my DTS and really pray into things. So your prayers are greatly appreciated. Lordship Week gave way to actually sending off 2 of our teams to Papua New Guinea. We sent 2 teams out already for 2 weeks of outreach in Papua New Guinea. They're doing wonderful things. We're going to meet up with them in about 5 days. And shortly after Lordship Week as well, we also did water baptisms. Some people here reconfirmed baptisms that they did when they were younger, that they wanted to really make a new statement of their dedication to Christ. And we had a few people who dedicated, or this was the first time they were ever baptized, which is absolutely amazing. From that, we've done, the trekking crew has done some more hikes, which have been really, really fun. We're conditioning for Papua New Guinea. I myself am no longer on trekking. That's one of the updates. I have switched teams, so I'm no longer on the trekking team, but I'm going to be part of a community engagement team, traveling from Alatau to Leh. I will include a little map so you can see where I'll be traveling, but I'm going to be on the medical ship. And then I will be doing community engagement with doing village assessments and teaching and educating and walking along with local pastors, teachers, and village leaders. And it's just going to be really, really fun. So more on that later as well. We've had the July DTS. So we're the October DTS, and the July DTS has come back, and we saw their graduation. We went to their ceremony, which was absolutely beautiful. It ended with a good time of worship and fellowship, and this weekend we're shipping a lot of them back home. I have this all written down so I don't forget anything. At the same time we've had the July DTS here, we had about a dozen students from Victoria, the state south of us, on something called Youth Adventures, which is a youth program that we host here in YWAM. I got to do a passion skit, and I was Jesus. So we had this, we actually all dress up in garb. We had Roman soldiers outfits and everything, and we actually busted into one of their lectures with a whole skit. And they then become part of the crucifixion. They become part of the crowd, and they see what happens. And so they take me to the cross, and they take Jesus to the cross, and they crucify him. And then once they take Jesus off the cross, the kids stayed behind, and they had written down things that they wanted to give up, sin issues, and they put it there at the cross. And it was really impactful. Some of these kids were crying, and they were really touched by the Lord, and to really engage in sort of a theater version of the stuff that they read about. It was really, really impactful. Now, the last 2 weeks, we've been involved in something called Stable on the Strand. And this is an event that happens here in Townsville. 70 churches are walking in unity to make this event happen. And those 70 churches get together, and on the beach area, which is we call the Strand, they build a little town of Bethlehem. And they have everything from camels to goats to basket weaving and pottery and a bakery. And then they have one section that is like vendors. We have a youth hub. We have a stage for worship and guest speakers, etc. It's a week-long event. And within that week, or within the 5 days that we put it on, about 40,000 people come through this event. So YWAM, we've been helping to build the Bethlehem, and then this week we volunteer for 2 shifts every night in different positions. So it could be from being a chaplain, doing prayer walks. There's a prayer wall area where you can pray with people. You can be one of the big heads. They have the wise men and the shepherds. They go around wandering in big head costumes, which you'll see the photo on here, which I was and am part of this week. I get to be a big head, which is kind of fun. but all sorts of stuff. And the town of Bethlehem is all dressed up in costume, and it's just a really neat event. Kids love it, and people are being touched by the gospel, and they really get to encounter the birth of Jesus and celebrate that. In fact, just last night, here's kind of an evangelism report. Just last night, a guy that I stopped in the parking lot, him and his 4 kids and his wife were just talking, and we ended up sharing the gospel with him, and he had no idea what was going on at the stable, and we ended up praying for him and his family, and then they're going to be coming tonight to the stable event, and it's going to be during a time when I'm on a chaplaincy position, so I'm going to sit with their family and pray for them. That's been really cool. Another thing, kind of a praise report, is we have been visiting a juvenile detention center. We sent 2 teams in there to witness to these kids. They're ages 11 to 17. And just last month, they had a riot that was so bad that one of the youth workers lost an eye. So these are some pretty rough kids, but we went in and we got to share the gospel with them. And the second team that came in, they were sharing the gospel with these kids, and one of them accepted Christ. And then that same day, he was released from juvenile, from the detention center. So not only did he get spiritual freedom, he got his physical freedom, and his life was just transformed within a matter of hours. It was just absolutely amazing. So much is going on here. So I'm sorry that's been taking so long, but I'll let you all know that I love you. I thank you so much for your support. My birthday was wonderful. Thank you all for birthday wishes. Thank you all for your prayers. In 5 days, so this Friday, so about 5 days, we are going to be flying from Townsville to Cairns to Port Moresby in Papua New Guinea. We're going to board the medical ship there, and we're going to travel from Port Moresby to a city named Alatau, which is in the Oro province. And there in Alatau, we will be on the boat for 4 weeks doing some last-minute lectures, and then all 6 of our teams are going to disperse all throughout Papua New Guinea for 7 weeks of outreach. So stay tuned. Contact is going to be very minimal while I'm there. So you'll get a few prayer updates, maybe a video update, and some photos. But I love you guys, and I thank you so much. And that's the under 10-minute version of all that's been happening in the months that I've been here. So I hope this will do, and I love you guys, and I will see you in April when I return to Ohio. Thanks, guys.
When did you get back from Beijing? I gotta know. Ooh, Molly, are you stuck in nostalgia?